Hi, folks. It's me, Michael Bach, and it's time for another episode of Lunchtime Learning on SHRM's Inclusion 2023 conference taking place from October 30th to November 1st in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. Today, I'm joined by Payton Drury, HR Director for the City of Collinsville, Illinois, whose session titled Bridging Employment Gaps by Providing Apprenticeship Opportunities with Students with Disabilities takes place Tuesday, October 31st at 3:45 p.m. Welcome, Payton.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay, most important question first. Are you going to be wearing a costume on Halloween?
Well, maybe. I have to think about it. Maybe like Kim Possible. I have the red hair. We'll have to see.
Kim Possible, such a good reference. So Halloween is the gay high holiday, as I'm sure you're aware. So I feel obligated to wear a costume, but I've never been in a conference on Halloween, so I may just look ridiculous, but we'll see how it goes. More importantly, tell me about your session.
Sure. So our session is about providing apprenticeship programs to high school students with disabilities. We first started this kind of venture of this apprenticeship program. We had something else kind of in mind, just apprenticeship and programs for our city services in general. However, we brought the high school in just to see what options that they could provide for us, maybe providing apprenticeships to their just high school students. But we actually kind of got on the topic of apprenticeships for high school students with disabilities. They needed some work-based learning experience. So we felt like the city was a great opportunity, just because obviously partnering with our local high school and the city is a great opportunity for those students to be working. We have a convention center in our Parks and Rec department. So those are also awesome opportunities for entry-level positions and repetitive tasks for those high school students, which I think is definitely the key thing for working with some employees with disabilities is to implement repetitive tasks and consistent tasks because they can do the same thing that everybody else does. I think just starting in more of a repetitive manner is the most beneficial. So they basically kind of just jumped into this program. We had to get certifications from the Department of Labor and then Madison County, and obviously making sure the school district and us were all on the same page of things. We started in, I think it was 21. I think time kind of goes away at this point. But we started off with 6 students. It was very interesting and we learned a lot from that very first cohort of students. We did have one that graduated the program out of the 6. Unfortunately, due to like not matching the skills of the students to our jobs, and not really picking the right students, it led to a lot of disciplinary options, maybe some students not finishing school. So the next time around in our second cohort, we did match the students to the jobs, and we had a process of where elimination process to make sure that students were able to complete the job and that they were motivated to do the job. So that helped a lot. So essentially, we provide these jobs to high school students with disabilities. They get an apprenticeship certificate after year completion, and they get a job whenever they're done with completing their apprenticeship program. So that is basically the gist of the program. We just had 4 students complete this past fall. So we had 4 graduate with their apprenticeship certificate, and they're still working for us, and they're actually going to college, which is awesome. And then right now we have 4 more that just begun their program this fall, and they'll graduate next year. So far, so good for our 3rd program.
That's fantastic. And not only are you going to share a best practice, but you also have some learnings from said best practice so you can help people avoid the pitfalls. So as a person with a disability, I have 1,000 questions, but of course this is a very brief video. One question: what do you want attendees to come away from your session understanding? What's the one thing that you want people to understand?
I want people to come away with that students with disabilities, or anyone in general with disabilities, are able to be in the work environment and are able to do all the same responsibilities that everybody else can do.
Fantastic. This sounds like it's going to be a great informative session for people. And thank you so much for taking the time to share with us here today. And remember, you can attend Payton's session on Tuesday, October 31st at 3:45 p.m., costume or not. And should you be so inclined and have nothing better to do, you can attend my session, What Gets Measured Gets Done, Measuring Success in Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility, taking place on Wednesday, November 1st at 7:30 a.m. And I will still be in costume as somebody who should be asleep. Hope to see you in Savannah.